it's Vanessa Victor here from My Dyslexic Life. This week, I'd like to talk about mistakes. On last weekend, I had an experience that I haven't had in a while. As you know, I'm dyslexic, and I only discovered my dyslexia in my 40s. So I have a lot of my life lived with the stress and the pain that being dyslexic causes. The thing is, I just didn't realize I was dyslexic then. So I used to think when things went wrong, or I hadn't completed a task, or I'd forgotten a friend's birthday, or I just couldn't seem to get everything organized in time in my job, or I always used to stay later than everybody else. I just used to think it was because there was something wrong with me. I used to feel like other people were more capable than I was, and I just didn't quite know why I couldn't do the same things. You know, I didn't feel dumb, but I just couldn't seem to do these simple things. So for many years of my life, my self-confidence and self-esteem, I can't get my words out. There you go, there's my dyslexia. My self-confidence and my self-esteem suffered. Then I discovered I was dyslexic. And as you know, this is all part of my journey, is just realizing how much dyslexia does affect. And also then just really wanting to let people know what it's really like to be dyslexic. So part of my dyslexia was that I used to go to the wrong place. And this happened last week. So Friday was an incredibly busy and stressful day. As I've said in my earlier posts, we're having some renovations, and that in itself is actually really hard because there's loads of chaos and things aren't where they normally are, and I'm already finding that a bit stressful. But then you have all these decisions and questions, and it just seems really constant. So Friday was a really busy day, and I had organised to go out for a drink with some friends, and that had been organised earlier in the week. So Friday came around, it was a really busy day, and then I had to sort some of the stuff out at home, and then I was going to be late. So I was supposed to be there at 6 o'clock. So I messaged my friends and said, I'm really probably not going to be there till 6:30, maybe even 6:45. So I was feeling good. I'm like, I've let them know that I can't be there on time. So anyway, I jumped in an Uber and raced off down to the bar where we were meeting. And I got out and I couldn't see them. So I thought, oh, that's strange. Maybe they're inside. So I kind of walked inside, and, you know that moment of panic where you just think, where is everybody? And I started looking around, and I suddenly thought, where are they? Like, where are they? We're meant to be meeting at a place called the Beer Spot. So I phoned my girlfriend and said, I'm here, where are you guys? And I was thinking, oh, they've already left, or maybe there's somewhere else where they're sitting. Anyway, she said, we're here, we're outside. So I walked outside and I couldn't see them. And I'm like, no, you're definitely not here. I'm standing outside too. She said, where are you? And I was like, I'm at the Beer Spot. And she just cracked up laughing and said, no, we're meeting at the BBC. And I was like, oh, I can't believe it. So I was like, okay. I jumped in an Uber and went up to the correct place. But it was really interesting because in the Uber, I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is what my life used to be like all the time. Like I was always getting stuff like that wrong. And then in the Uber, I was like, I am so sure that the message said, let's meet at the let's meet at the Beer Spot. Like I'm 1,000% sure. So I trawled back through the messages, and no, sure enough, the message did say, let's meet at the BBC. But this is what happens with dyslexia. When I read the message on Wednesday, I visualized going to the Beer Spot, which is a completely different place. And then that is what I remember. I remember what I imagined. I don't remember what I actually read. So I went back and looked at the message, and it was like a real surprise. I was like, oh no, It is the BBC. You know, the other 8 people are actually correct. So before I realized quite how much dyslexia was a part of my life, I would have felt awful about that. Like, I would have beaten myself up for days over that. I would have been like, what are they going to think about me? They're just going to think I'm an idiot. Oh my God, how can I get something like that wrong? I would have got super, super, super stressed. Now, it was a stressful day on Friday, and I guess it really brought it home, you know, dyslexia never leaves us, and some days are going to be better than others. And I know we've talked, you know, Stephen and Becky and I do talk about this, but this is what it's really like. So I eventually made it to the right place, and, you know, it was fine. I did feel a little bit kind of silly. I was a bit annoyed at myself that I didn't double check. But by the end of the night, I'd forgotten about it. And that is the other difference, is before, when I didn't understand what was causing me to make these silly mistakes, I would have just felt bad for so much longer. And I would have really created a lot of angst and anxiety for myself. Now, I think it's funny. I still make mistakes. I'm still dyslexic. And yes, I was a little bit like, oh, I can't believe I got that wrong. But by the next day, I'd forgotten all about it. So I really hope that by learning more about your dyslexia and just hearing these stories, you can start to just make your life a little bit easier, because this is what dyslexia does. It means we remember what we thought about, not what we actually read. And this is how mistakes happen. So maybe you can relate to this. Have you ever gone somewhere different from where everyone else was going to meet you? Luckily, they're all friends I know very well, and they all know I'm dyslexic. So I just sat down at the table and went, do you think I had a dyslexic moment? I also know why the dyslexic moment was caused. It was caused by trying to rush and having a really stressful day on Friday. So, you know, once understanding those causes takes it away from being something wrong with me. I'd love to know if this has ever happened to you, or I'd love to know what you think about this. So pop a comment in. Watch out for the webinar in a couple of weeks where we're going to be exploring dyslexia and really diving into how it affects our self-confidence. I hope you have a great week wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.